fearfully and wonderfully made. You're a masterpiece. There's a story that I used to read to my kids when they were younger. And it's actually, it's about a village of wooden people. And they're called the Wemmicks, with a W. And the Wemmicks kind of, in a nutshell, walk around all day. And they've got two types of stickers that they give out to one another. And in one hand, they have a pack of gold star stickers that they hand out to other Wemmicks that can do cool things. You know, maybe they can sing really well, or they are great artists, or they just do something really amazing that other Wemmicks think are like inspiring and great. And so, you know, other Wemmicks will go up and be like, "Wow, you're awesome," and just pop a gold star on them, just like that. And then there's these other stickers that are these kind of like blah gray dots. And the gray dots, of course, are for Wemmicks maybe that just don't quite measure up. And in fact, if you have a lot of gray dots on you already, you might have a Wemmick come up to you and just sort of size you up and be like, "Oh, that's who you are. Okay," and pop another gray dot on you. Yeah. And so there was this Wemmick named Punchinello. And Punchinello walked around with quite a few gray dots. And of course, he wasn't feeling too sweet about himself. But he met this one Wemmick, and her name was Lucia. And Lucia was kind of peculiar because she didn't have any stickers on her. And he's like, "Well, how can it be?" And she goes, "Well, I go and I see Eli every morning." And so Punchinello went with Lucia to see Eli. Now, if you don't know who Eli is, Eli was the carpenter that made all of the Wemmicks. And when Punchinello went to see Eli, Eli looked at him and kind of sized him up, and he says, "Looks like you're not having a really good day, are you?" He's like, "No." And he says, "Well, you know, you need to realize this. I made you the way that you are for a reason, and I don't make mistakes. I think you're perfect, and you're very special to me. And when you come to a place in your life where what I think is more important than anything else, those stickers will cease to stick." And so know this, that your self-esteem, the person that you are, the image of yourself that you have, does not and should not ever come from this culture. How you feel about yourself, or how you measure yourself up against the culture's version of success, right? You're already amazing because the God of the universe made you. He thinks you're amazing and loves you deeply. And Jesus is your craftsman. Ephesians 2:10 says that you're God's workmanship, right? Created in Christ Jesus to do great things, which God has prepared in advance for you to do. And this is something to be excited about. This is something that really should inspire you. So, see yourselves through His eyes every day, right? Christ's eyes every day. Know that you're amazing, not just because of what you do, but because of who you are. Right? That's where you want to be. Do you agree with me? Yeah, for sure. So now that you have this amazing truth about who you are, right? What do you do now? Let's talk about your purpose. You have all these exciting decisions that you get to make, from maybe still what college you're going to or what you're doing after school, the friend circles that you hang around, maybe the job that you're going to get this summer. And when you think into the future, even 5-10 years from now, you have a lot of awesome opportunity to make some phenomenal decisions about your life. But how do you make these decisions and step with joy and confidence into the future? How do you do that? And it's funny because if you ask anybody what they want out of life, most people will say, "Well, I just want to be happy." And most people will say that. And that's a legitimate, right, request. Happiness. I just want to be happy. But the funny thing about happiness is that happiness is based on happenings. When I say happenings, I'm talking about, you can get that new phone, or you can make it into that college, or someday maybe you can make that much money, or get that job, or have that girlfriend, boyfriend, or participate in these activities, or whatever it might be. But happiness is always going to need to be replenished. More happiness all the time. It's temporal. It's temporary. And what you should really be seeking, right, is joy. And so I want to talk to you about joy. It says that there's a God-shaped hole kind of in all of our hearts, and you can't really fill it with anything else but Him. And we try to stick things in there that bring happiness, but they just don't quite fit, like a piece of a puzzle that looks like it's going to go there, and then you sort of press the corner, and you're like, okay, this isn't going to work. And if you think about it, right, everybody longs for truth and unconditional love, and everybody longs for purpose and value. And when you truly have those things dialed in, you have joy. And in other words, right, if you kind of know who you are in His eyes, in God's eyes, and you know the promises that He has for your life, that joy can never be taken from you. It doesn't run out. It doesn't have to be refilled. That's joy. And in other words, joy is sort of the eternal contentment that you have when you know who you are in God's eyes and you know the promises He has for your life. I want you to have joy in your life. Enjoy happiness for sure, but seek joy. Nobody can rob you of your joy. And speaking of promises, you guys remember the verse that Grace shared with us just a little bit ago? For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, right? Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future, right? And you may or may not believe that. And in some point in your life, you'll have to make a decision about who's ultimately in control. And you see, walking with God and reading His Word doesn't necessarily mean that you all of a sudden have this, checklist of things that you don't get to do. Like, oh man, I don't get to have any fun anymore. That stinks, right? But actually, it's the opposite. When you have a relationship with the one that created you, and you know who you are in His eyes, and you have joy, this actually brings freedom from the meaningless and frivolous things sometimes that the world throws at us, right? The things that we think are so important, they're not. They're just not, right? It doesn't matter. That's freedom. And they talk about freedom in Christ. And that's what that means. You have freedom. And much of the world tells you different. Much of the world tells you other things are more important. So as I said, Jeremiah 29:11 is actually a really great verse. And it's used actually in a lot of graduations. But I really like the two verses that come right after that. And verse 12 says, "Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you." God listens, He hears you. God hears you. And then after that, right, you will seek me with all of your heart, and you'll find me. Hey, that's really easy. Wow. And I guess I love this because if God's real, and you want to be close to Him, and you want Him to guide your life, nobody needs to, drag you into a church and recite verses at you. And please don't hear me say that Mr. Schultz said, don't go to church and read the Bible, right? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that if God is real and you want to be close to Him, all you got to do with a sincere heart is just ask. And He'll show up. He'll show up in your life. It's awesome. I often have people ask me how I became a teacher. Why did I choose to do what I do? And I originally shared with them how I was going into anesthesia. Actually, I was at Oakland University in the nursing program with intentions of going into anesthesia. And during one of my summers, I worked at Spring Hill campus in here by myself. There's one. Yeah, right, great. Sweet, thank you. All right. So anyway, I remember being at camp and just building relationships with kids, having a great time, and just thinking about what I was doing. And I had 2 more years